From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo. Canadians will have another chance to pay their respects to Brian Mulroney in Ottawa today, before the public tributes move to Montreal. The late former Prime Minister is lying in state at the Sir John A. Macdonald building opposite Parliament Hill and will be there until 1 o'clock this afternoon. Hundreds of visitors filed through the ballroom yesterday, including a solemn parade of dignitaries who offered their sympathies to Mulroney's family. Visitors included former Conservative Prime Minister Joe Clark, who spoke outside with CTV News.
He made a point of befriending people who he thought were either shy or against him, and he was a very effective human as well as a very effective leader.
Mulroney died last month in Florida at the age of 84. A 62-year-old Ontario woman says her brother has died in northern Gaza after weeks spent searching for food and refuge while he waited for the federal government to approve him coming to Canada. Sausan Karashuli says she found out through a Facebook post that her brother Ishmael had died on March 4th, about 2 months after she applied to a newly opened federal program to secure Canadian visas for him and his 25-year-old daughter. She says her niece Lena is now alone in northern Gaza, trying to stay alive in the epicenter of what UN officials have described as a humanitarian catastrophe. Prosecutors and defense lawyers are set to make their opening statements today at the murder trial of a man accused of killing a Toronto police officer. Umar Zameer has pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder in the death of veteran Constable Jeffrey Northrup. The 55-year-old officer died in July 2021 after he was struck by a vehicle as he was responding to a report of a robbery in an underground parking garage at Toronto City Hall. This jury trial is expected to take less than a month. John Valiant's best-selling book about the Fort McMurray, Alberta wildfire has been shortlisted for the Shaughnessy Cohen Prize for Political Writing. Fire Weather, The Making of a Beast is one of 5 nonfiction books in the running for the $25,000 award administered by the Writers' Trust of Canada. And a bomb threat was made against a major U.S. baseball player through an email sent to South Korea's Consulate General in Vancouver.
South Korean police say they found no explosives at Seoul's Goshek Sky Dome after searching the site following a reported bomb threat against Los Angeles Dodgers star Shohei Ohtani. Police say about 150 officers used sniffer dogs and X-ray detectors to search through the stadium, but no suspicious objects had been discovered. The authorities say they acted on a tip that there was a threat targeting Ohtani, but didn't elaborate. Major League Baseball's opening game between the Dodgers and the San Diego Padres is scheduled to start Wednesday at the stadium. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
This is the Canadian Press. In sports, it was a busy night in the NHL. Elias Pettersson had 2 goals and a helper, and the Vancouver Canucks edged the visiting Buffalo Sabres 3-2 Tuesday night. The Canucks lead the NHL's Western Conference with 94 points. Leon Draisaitl scored a power play goal at 3:17 of overtime to lift Edmonton to a 3-2 win over the Montreal Canadiens. Mark Scheifele scored 3 times as the Winnipeg Jets beat the New York Rangers 4-2. David Pastrnak scored twice in the first period and added 1 in the third as the Boston Bruins beat the visiting Ottawa Senators 6-2. And Owen Tippett scored 19 seconds into the game as the Philadelphia Flyers beat the Toronto Maple Leafs 4-3 without Flyers captain Sean Couturier. He was a healthy scratch for the first time in his 13-year career. And Rachel Homan and her unbeaten Canadian team picked up 2 more wins Tuesday at the World Women's Curling Championship in Sydney, Nova Scotia. From the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.